Welcome back to Phakisa and some more Pro Tour round action here from Phakisa Freeway in Welkom. We're going to catch up with the VWChallengeSA Challenge brought to us by Goldwagen. This field gets bigger and bigger every single time we go to any racetrack around the country, and guys are lining up to get their cars involved in the VWChallengeSA Challenge, where Class A was dominated by Wayne Masters, putting his Volkswagen Golf ahead of George Economides in Class A.
Wayne, it's taken a while this year, but you're on pole. Phew, at last.
Yeah, no, it's been great. We've been struggling with the car. Not too bad, but slow progress. And the car's been quick the last 3 races, just wasn't able to put it together.
This is the only Golf 4 that we've got in this race.
It's the first Golf 4 in the VW Challenge.
But yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of competition there, very closely, so any progress just goes up by fractions of seconds, I suppose.
No, yes, all the guys they're very quick, they're very dedicated, they're all working very hard in their cars, so it's very tight, and there's about 5 or 6 of us that are going to put on a hell of a show here at Phakisa.
In the polo class, it was Voldy Mikes who took pole position ahead of Jakes Jacobs and Derek Smallberger. And in Class B, Rob Prius ahead of Gerard Henning and Chad Bartram. A full field of competitors lined up on the race 1 grid. It's 9 laps of action here at the freeway. And we're looking forward to some great stuff as they get away and down towards turn 1. It's a staggered start. It's going to be Class A all on their own. Then a couple of seconds later, Class P. But into turn 1, it looks like Wayne Masters hung on to that pole position and kept the whole shot as they go through there, looking through that big field of Class A cars and some really new guys out there too. It's George Economides stuck in second place there, just behind Wayne Masters. There we see Ray Wolford coming through as well. And then the rest of the Class A battle starting to rage at the back there. Class P has begun, and it looks like Voldy has got the whole shot there. And joining me in the commentary booth, as per usual, Graham Nathan.
Thank you, Greg. Yeah, Voldy's out in front, followed closely by Derek Smallberger and Jake Jacobs. These guys are going at it. These cars are so evenly matched. There's not such a big field today, but they are all at it flat out, and the time is so small between the two of them.
Class C gets underway and down in towards turn number 1. Class B just ahead of them as well. So it's all about the battle of City Golfs and Golf Jumbos. And it looks like the majority of the field there choosing the City Golf option as they go through turn 1. We go on board with Chad Bartram. He's sitting a little bit further back in Class B than what he'd like to be right now. He's got a battle on his hands there with Kieran Kwambi, who's in the Giotto IT car. And on his right-hand side, a new man to the sport of VWChallengeSA Challenge. And that is none other than Quinton Needham in the Cheetah car.
Let's have a look going down into turn 3. Whoa, some synchronized spinning here. Unbelievable. Rob Prius and Gerard Henning getting it all wrong, making everybody bunch up really tight. This is where the fenders start to fly, the panels go away, the mirrors. But let's go back to the front of the field. Oh, it looks like George Economides has got into the front. Anton Kriel hanging on around the outside of Wayne Masters. That is the fastest turn on the racetrack. That is absolutely flat out in 4th gear. Unbelievable stuff. These guys are giving each other room. No pushing, no shoving. Anton Kriel unfortunately losing out, being on the outside. Here we go on board with Anton as he tries to hound Wayne Masters into an error. Can he get him to do it? Let's have a look. Anton is getting it nice and smooth, using up the entire road, but Wayne Masters also makes no mistakes. Having a look at Voldy Mikes. Oh, Barry Groenewald throws it up the inside of Jake Jacobs to take 3rd, but he runs a little wide. Can he hold on to it? He does a great job. Jakes is having to wait. Now we're on board with Barry. He's hounding down Derek Smallberger. He wants 2nd now. He's on a roll. Let's have a look, nice and smooth. From the apex to the outside, all the cars nice and neat, and they are flat out at turn 1.
Looking very good so far. Here we go back to Class B. Look at these boys getting it sideways. Kwambi absolutely lit up around the fastest part of the circuit. He manages to hang on, but only just. And he's going to be right at the back of the field by the time the rest of the field comes streaming through there. Up front, it looks like it's going to be none other than Gammy, who sneaks up the inside. There we got Marais just behind him, and Chad Bartram there as well.
Yeah, some really tight stuff, but it's Rob Prius on everyone. Let's have a look at the onboard camera stuff as Kieran throws it right at the bush, getting in the way, managing to spin out of the way and letting everybody go through unscathed. Some great driving from these guys.
Yeah, unfortunately just giving each other a bit of room there, and that's because Kieran Kwambi went haywire. We have got a new leader, as we mentioned a bit earlier. It's George Economides. He's starting to pull a bit of a gap now on Wayne Masters in the Jonas Way Volkswagen. Then it's the Timyon car there of Anton Kriel, and look at that. Here comes Jason Finney in the 2nd of those Giotto RT Golfs.
It looks like Anton Kriel's car is starting to smoke. Is that smoke coming out of the back of it? Let's have a look. Now we're on board with Anton. Let's listen. Greg, I think his clutch is slipping. I think he's got a slipping clutch. That's what that oil is all about. Oil smoke. It's going onto the clutch and the car's starting to slip. Let's see if Anton can hang in there. but I think he's going to battle. Back to the polo action, and we've still got Valdi Mankies locking it up a little bit. Oh, and Derek Smallberger throws it away.
Yeah, he got it completely wrong through there, unfortunately, and managed to hang on, but he's going to slot in back into 4th place. So it looks like Valdi had to take evasive action too. He's dropped back down to 3rd, and possibly he was the man who actually made a mistake. Let's have a look and see. Maybe we'll get a replay of that coming up really soon, but down to 3rd place, Valdi Mankies, and Derek Smallberger down to 4th. So some problems there in Class B, but 2 brand new leaders.
Oh, Valdi trying really hard, as you can see, putting the wheel off. He's trying hard. Here's the replay. Let's have a look. Valdi locks it up. Oh, he does lose it. He causes this. Valdi caused the upset. Derek took his foot off the throttle. Barry just said, thank you very much, I'll have that, and he drives straight through to the lead. But as you can see, Gerard Hennen throwing it away. Whoa, right across the racetrack to the other side. This guy plays motorsport like I play golf, from the rough to the rough. Anyway, there he goes again.
Big problems there for Gerard Henning. Yeah, rough to the rough indeed. Unfortunately, not taking anybody else out there. Back to the front of Class P. Look at this. It's Barry Groenewald starting to pull away now from Jake Jacobs. Then it's 3rd and 4th place men. The boys who got it sideways the last time they came through and really pushed hard through a left-hander. Back on board with Derek Smallberger. This is the Sabertech car. He's right on board and looking for a way past Valdi Mankies.
Going into turn 1, he goes up the inside. No, he decides not now. I'm not going to bump Valdi now. I'll have a go at him a little bit later. Valdi Mankies right around the outside. Derek right up behind him, revving that poor Polo right to the limiter. Back to the leaders in Class B. We've got Rob Prius. Then we've got the newcomer, Quinton Needham, right there in 2nd place. Unbelievable driving from him. On board with Chad Bartram. He's following Craig Murray going into turn 1. Let's have a look. Quinton Needham goes up the inside of Rob Prius. He goes to the front. Look at that. Look down the road from Chad Bartram. He probably can't believe it either. This guy is a newcomer to this formula. He's making it look easy. He's going like, what are you guys on about? This is easy. Watch me go.
Yeah, fantastic drive there so far from the man who's come here for his debut at Phakisa and really turning up and turning heads on the grandstands as well as in the pit lane. And here we go. Problems for Anton Kriel. You mentioned it earlier. Looks like it has become terminal.
That's the end of his race, unfortunately for him, but let's go back to the action. We've got Barry Groenewald being hounded all the way by Jake Jacobs. He's not letting Barry go. There's a problem for Wayne Masters as well, a former leader. He's also out. There's some car wars going on here, but we're on board with Valdi Mankies as we follow Jake Jacobs and Barry Groenewald into the fastest part of the track. Absolutely flat out stuff in 5th gear. Sorry, it's 5th, not fat. And Wayne Masters out. Let's have a look further down the road. We've got Class B coming into sight. We've still got Rob Prius, Quinton Needham, Craig Murray, and Chad Bartram. The 4 of them are covered by a proverbial blanket, and they are going at it also absolutely flat out into the fast right-hander. A light break, and in they go. Oh, a little bit loose by Chad Bartram as we're on board now with Chad following Quinton Needham. Can he brake late enough? Ooh, a little bit wide there, but hey.
Hanging on for dear life though at this point, because it's tight stuff here, Graham, between these Class B boys. They're not giving an inch here, and they're not letting up with the action. That's always shown what happens with Goldwagen, Volkswagen action. As they come onto the main straight one more time, he looks for a way past Bartram's on the inside.
Absolutely. Did you see how close that was, Greg? You couldn't even see the bonnet on that motor car. He's like right in there, but he managed just to make it stick. Quinton Needham is he's learning a hard lesson. These guys have said, okay, you've had your little moment of glory. Now we want it back. Let's go back to the back with the Polos and Barry Groenewald. Oh, he's been caught now by Valdi Mankies. Valdi, who made an error earlier, is right back there to the front of that gaggle.
Yeah, he got past Jake Jacobs as they went into the boot section there, and now looking for a way past the man in front of him, Barry Groenewald. Side-by-side action now as they go down the back straight. He was right in the toe. Is he going to be able to make it stick as they go into the fastest part? It's a big right-hand sweep. He manages to stick. Look at that. Jake Jacobs says, I'm coming for the ride, and he gets it a bit sideways, but manages to hang on.
That is
gets past Groenewald.
That's flat-out stuff. That is flat out in 5th gear. That's 190 kilometers an hour, and these guys are going through that corner side by side. Are they all right or what?
I don't know. These oaks absolutely lost it in my opinion, but here we go back to the front of Class A. There's no change up front there. It's still George Economides from Finney. Then we got Ray Wolford down in 3rd place pushing hard, and it looks like the Fuchs car has not got an answer to Finney and Economides just yet.
Back down the field in Class A, we've got Andy Gossman that's running a great race. He's riding in 5th place at the moment, and going into turn 3, lifts the wheel up. Henry from Feder right behind him, and The rest of the guys coming through, making up the field, is a couple of the newer polos, but coming into the fray is Wouter Roos. He's being caught by the Class B cars, and that is Rob Prius going through. He's giving himself a little bit of a gap to Craig Murray because Wouter is in the way now. Chad is there right behind him. Wouter is going to get gaggled up by these Class B cars any minute now.
Yeah, it looks as if Quinton Needham's coming under some pressure as well there from Jacques Vermeulen, and we're looking through as they go through. Nice bit of action here, all the way through the field as per usual. And here comes Craig Murray. He's trying very hard to try and catch that leading Class B car. It looks as if, yeah, we've got a change up top there. Jacques Vermeulen getting ahead of Quinton Needham now, so Needham falling back. Unfortunately, looks like his ability up front has not been able to match the seasoned campaigners in this Class B field, and he's now starting to come under some more pressure from some further cars a little bit further back.
Oh, unfortunately for Needham, it looks like his car's broken. What bad luck for that young man. But back to the Class P leaders, and we've got Valdi Mankis back in front now. Barry Groenewald has been passed. He's now lying in second place. Valdi Mankis doing a superb job of getting back to the front of this field. And these oaks are hanging on for dear life. Oh, Barry throws it away. Look at that. He spins across the track. Bang!
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that one. That had to happen, unfortunately. Well done to Derek Smallberger for taking evasive action and missing out. Barry Groenewald getting it completely sideways there, and I think it was actually Jakes Jacobs who went into the side of him there. He had nowhere to go, and that's given Clayton LaRue the opportunity to move up into second place. Let's have a look at it in the replay. There you see Groenewald getting it sideways. He locks it up both sides, 360 degrees over the circuit, and Jakes just goes into the back of him. Nowhere to go for Jakes Jacobs, and yep, unfortunately ended up in the side of the Utinga car there, and Barry Groenewald came away pretty lightly compared to what Jakes Jacobs did.
Yeah, it looks like Jakes is going to be out of this one. Barry managed to keep going. Some poor luck for Jake Jacobs. If that act didn't have bad luck, he'd have no luck. But back to Class B, and it is Craig Murray locking up the tyres, trying everything he possibly can to catch Rob Prius there. He's falling off. Chad Bartram's going off on the grass. These guys are pushing these Dunlop tyres to the absolute limit.
Lots of debris on the circuit now due to all the accidents, so we're going to have to keep an eye on. Hopefully no one else is going to get it sideways as they come in here. This is a big crash, and unfortunately got it sideways as it comes into the fastest part of the circuit. Oh my goodness! That was a huge crash. Unfortunately, looks like that might cause some major problems. Oh, there's no flags out at the moment, so big problems here. Drivers having to take evasive action. Hopefully the flags are out at this point in time. You can see that the cars are still coming around there flat out. The Class A cars are about to come past there. That is number 37, unfortunately, who's on his bonnet. That's Dean Gregory.
Dean Gregory, that's
and of
lying
course,
in the way.
George Eisen is the other man there. So major problems. Yeah, you can see, look, oh, they have not slowed these cars down. What is going on with the Phakisa marshals here? There is no flags out for these guys. Here we go on board with Derek Smallberger. There you can see Kieran Kwambi waving frantically to warn the drivers of what's pending right in front of them. That's a major problem. At last the red flag comes out, but that was way overdue. Let's have a look at that in replay. You can see here George Iceland unfortunately just stuck in the middle of the circuit. Dean Gregory nowhere to go, couldn't even see that car in the dust, and that is one of the biggest crashes I've seen on television here in South Africa. I don't know about you, Graham.
That is monstrous. Have a look at this motor car. He's shoved the wheel right in underneath the driver's door. That is unbelievable stuff, and testimony to the roll cages of these motor cars. Both the drivers got out and are fine, absolutely fine.
Fortunately for all the drivers there, George Economides then taking the win ahead of Ray Wolford and Eddie Rodriguez in third.
George, so a hat-trick of wins. You're going well. I mean, this part of the season is looking good for you.
Absolutely, Roger. We had a terrible qualifying. We were held up in the first two parts of it, really, but managed to get first and second. First for the second heat. And yeah, I pulled off a fantastic win, which, as you say, is a hat-trick.
Yeah, and Wayne was right alongside you. Where did you get him?
Wayne also did incredibly well in qualifying yesterday. I think on turn 3, got a little bit sideways, tyres were a little bit cold, managed to get through. I saw him come back at the end of the first lap, but I think something broke on his car. It's a pity.
Class B eventually be taken by Valdi Mankis and Clayton LaRue finishing up nicely in second place ahead of Andre Tenapel, and Rob Prius made up the top part of Class B.
So Waldy pole position, and you went on and won it, and it's doing good things for your championship chances.
It is, Roger. I mean, it's been a tight year this year with the points. In our class, there's been multiple winners. I made a smaller error on the second lap, fell back to third, and I came up through the field again. I caught the guys, passed them. Barry tried to take me. Unfortunately, went a bit too hot into the corner. He spun, and Jakes collected him. So unfortunately, Jakes looks like he's out for the day.
Well, back on the grid, it looks like Jake Jacobs has actually got back on due to the man sitting next to me in the commentary booth. Great job there, Graham, to get him back on. A good start from George Economides. Looks like he's going to take the whole shot ahead of Wayne Masters, and Wayne Masters has also sorted out some problems on his car.
Absolutely. Oh, look at the back corner. The carnage again. These guys haven't even got to turn one yet and they're riding into each other.
I think that was actually Van Vletter that got those two going, and unfortunately it looks like one of the Ross brothers going onto the side here. 42 is the man who's out, and that's some major problems, unfortunately.
On board with the start of Class B. Let's have a look here. Whoa, Derek Smallberger slamming into the back of Jake Jacob. I think he must have missed a gear, but Valdi's away, Barry's in second, and let's have a look, turning into turn one, and they go through everything. Derek throws it away. Yes, full throttle stuff, hanging on to it. Jeez, that was really close.
Well, how Derek Smallberger, when in doubt, pin it. That's exactly what he did. He managed to keep the car on the circuit. Unfortunately, no damage to that car as Class B get underway for the second heat of the day and into turn one. Well, it's all about the action we saw earlier on today. Both those drivers involved in that big crash. And speaking of crashes, here we go again.
Unbelievable stuff. The guys are spinning off all over the show.
There's some oil or something on the circuit there, Graham.
Yeah, I think that must be water or something. Maybe Derek Smallberger damaged his motor. But having a look at Eddie Rodriguez's motor car, he's definitely damaged that. Let's have a look at the start of Class A again. Oh, it looks like Eddie Rodriguez goes across. Henry from Freda slams into the right front wheel of Eddie Rodriguez's car, and that's the end of his day. That is Gavin Ross going right to the tyres, being pushed out there by Andrew Fornham.
Yeah, unfortunately, Gavin Ross had nowhere to go as Van Vletter and Eddie Rodriguez are trying to sort out their little mayhem in the middle of the field. But unfortunately, it has ended the day there for some of the drivers. But back up front, it's all about George Economides. Ray Wolford in second place now. He's just ahead of the Jonas Way car, so the Fuchs Titan man is pushing, and you can see how hard. He nearly gets it sideways and goes a little bit of dirt tracking, and that's given a bit of an advantage to Wayne Masters as they come down the back straight.
Absolutely. Wayne Masters going, thank you very much, I'll have that, and he just drives straight down the inside of him. But yeah, once again, flat out stuff through the fastest part of the track. Wayne's car's on the move, Ray's car's on the move, and these guys are just hanging on to it. Unbelievable stuff.
That's what it's all about in Goldwagen Volkswagen Challenge. They come through the double right-hander now. It's a short little straightaway, then they're onto the brakes for the left-hander. That brings them to complete lap one. And back in Class P, Valdi Mikes has got to the front.
Valdi's in front. Barry on board with Barry as we watch Henry van Vletter unfortunately fall out. Jake Jacobs, who had that massive accident earlier, is right there in the fray. Barry going to the outside. Jake's is probably going, hey Barry, leave me alone.
I think we had enough touching and barging and bumping, as we all call it, but Rubbing's racing, and that's what we love to see as they come into the final turn. They're catching up onto one of the back markers of Class A, but this Class B battle has already caught them within one lap and a 15-second gap between the starts.
And back to Class B. We've got a gaggle of cars. Rob Prius is now down in third place. Out in front is Gerard Henning. He's got to the front. I wonder how he managed to get that. Craig Marais is right up behind him, but we're on board with Chad Bartram. These guys are going at it flat out. There's absolutely nothing between them, and they are really trying as hard as they can. Chad puts a wheel off. He is trying. So is Gerard, so is Craig, and so is Rob Beard. And here comes Craig. Craig Marais goes up the inside into turn one. Can he make it stick? He does it. An awesome pass there from a mile behind. Gerard Henning probably thought, geez, how's that like on the brakes?
No, not too shabby. Yeah, we go back on board with the corporate officer's concept car, and that is Chad Bartram at the wheel. He's trying to catch Rob Prius. Prius is keeping him at bay, but you can see the battle has not ended between Gerard Henning, because he goes back into the lead as they come down towards turn number 3. So it was only for a corner that we saw a new leader, and right back, Gerard Henning.
That's what makes this racing exciting. But let's go back to Class A as Andy Gossman is chasing after Ray Wolford. And here we have Jason Finney chasing after Jürgen Pilloffer. These guys are going at it. There's racing right throughout the field in Class A, and there is no giving up at all. But out in front we have George Economides. Wayne Masters is trying his best to get back to the front of the pack.
Jason Finney looking for a way past Pilloffer. He hasn't found it yet, but he's in the slipstream. Hopefully he can try something on the brakes as they go into the double right-hander. This is the second last corner of the circuit. It looks like Finney's sliding around at the back there. Looks like Ray Wolford's also having some problems on the brakes and getting the car completely sideways. Here comes Finney up the inside, and he's got through, but it's going to be a brave man to try and keep it around the outside of Jason Finney. Pilloffer tries that. Back to Class P, and old problems here for Barry Groenewald. He's pulling off onto the side of the circuit, so doesn't look like it's going to be a second race finish here for Groenewald.
Yeah, unfortunately, looking like a bit of smoke, and there's having a look under the motor car. There's something running out the bottom of it in the middle of the car. Probably a gearbox that's broken, but back to the front. Valdi Meintjes is harassing this A-class car at the back of the field. Jake Jacobs has fallen back a little bit from Valdi, but I don't think he's given up yet. And nor is Clayton LaRue. Let's go back to Class B. We've still got Craig Murray right on the back of Gerard Henning's motor car. Rob Prius is still in third, and Chad Bartram is just bringing up the fourth of the cars there. He's going, come on guys, make a mistake. I want a piece of this too. But there's no mistakes right now, Greg.
Looking for a way pass. It's difficult in Class C as always, and in Class B. But here we go back to the Class A battle, and George Economides is walking away with this race victory. He's going to try and make it a double for the day. Wayne Masters hasn't had an answer in the first heat. He had some problems. He's going a lot better in the second heat, but not good enough to catch George Economides up front. And Ray Wolford is in there as well, also waiting for some kind of mistake from the first two drivers.
Absolutely, these guys are just not making any errors. But look at this. I told you earlier, Jake Jacobs hasn't given up, and here he comes up the inside. Valdi Meintjes gets the surprise of the day as he has a look, and Jakes is up the inside of him. Jakes is trying really, really hard. He's wanting to prove that he can still do it even after a crash in the first heat. Valdi is right up behind him. Look how close these guys are. Jeez!
It's unbelievable stuff as per usual, and I think Valdi Meintjes is going to eat his words when he said that it looks like Jakes Jacobs is out for the day, because I think Valdi, that might be Jakes in front of you that you're trying to get past, buddy.
And here he goes up the inside. Valdi Meintjes having a go into the boot. Let's have a look. Can Jakes hang around the outside? He's having a go. Jakes is going around the outside with him. Unbelievable stuff. Can he make it stick? The next one's a left-hander. That's a good line, Jakes. Hang on there, man.
They did a great job there. Superb driving from Jake Jacobs. Hanging onto that outside line through the right-hander, gives him the left-hander, and that's what Valentino Rossi did to Max Biaggi here a couple of years ago. Back to Class B. Look at this. Gerard Henning still hanging on. The Silver Dream Racer still ahead there. And I tell you something, this Class B battle is going to rage right to the line.
This is unbelievable stuff. This is like national racing. It's like these guys just don't let up. They are at it all the time. Chad Bartram going, come on, give me a chance at this. But these other guys are going, if you want a piece, you got to drive for it, boy.
Now they're working really hard as they come through the boot section. Now they're going to get into the left-hander. This is by the Coca-Cola bottle. And as they come out of that, it's Henning still ahead there. Look at this battle, though. Rob Prius has not found a way past Gerard Henning. And he's got a battling pair of white Golfs right on his tailpiece.
And here it is. Valdi Meintjes up the inside of Jake Jacobs. Once again at the fastest part of the racetrack. These guys just don't understand that that's a dangerous corner. Let's have a look. Can Jakes go up the inside of him at the bottom? On the brakes really late, and he does it. Jakes put it up the inside. Valdi cannot get back from there because Jakes is going to use up the road, hopefully. There we go. He uses up the road. He says, I'll have this. I'll take it another time. And there they go. Inside, outside, using up the entire road. These guys are going at it. But Valdi hasn't given up either. And once again, Class B has caught Wouter Roos. They've caught him at the fastest part of the racetrack. Can these guys get past him really quickly? And they are trying. They are really trying hard. Wouter is also trying, hanging it right to the outside of the road. But Rob Prius gets it up the inside. Wouter moves to the outside. He doesn't want to get involved in this battle that's holding them up. And here they go again. Chad Bartram is right behind Craig Murray. Wouter ahead of them. Rob Prius ahead of him. And Gerard Henning getting a little bit of breathing space, but these guys are at it. The Polos and the Golfs, very similar power, but they are trying as hard as they possibly can to get past him.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like Wouter's actually getting involved in this battle. He doesn't want to be involved yet because they'll probably just push him out the way if he gets too much car in the way, because these guys are battling for first, second, third, and fourth place on the road for Class B.
Here it comes. There it is. The gentle reminder, you're in my way. And off they go down the road again. But out in front, we've still got George Economides, Wayne Master, and Rafe Wolford is trying incredibly hard. He's locking up the wheels every which way. He's falling off, as you can hear, and on board with Ray now. He's revving this little Polo of his right to the limiter. He's going flat out all the time over the inside of the curb, using up the entire road. And Wayne is trying just as hard. His car's moving all over the road. But these guys have not given up. As you can see, George Economides has got a bit of a breather. He's comfortable where he is. He's going, come on, guys. I've got this one sewn up. It's the first double of the day.
Yeah, last lap as well for these guys as they come onto the main straight now for Class P. It's still Valdi Meintjes holding the advantage over Jake Jacobs, but only by a few millimeters on the racetrack. We saw the Class A competitors start their last lap. It's going to be tightened up between them, but it's going to be even tighter between our Class P competitors, Valdi Meintjes. This race is not over for you yet. Jake Jacobs is looking for a way past, and he's looking big time.
Absolutely, Jake's lifting the inside left wheel of that motor car at least 3 inches off the ground. But Jakes is right up there behind him. Clayton LaRue has also not let go. He's waiting for these two oaks in the front to make an error, and he's just going to go, I'll have that win, thank you very much. But back to Class B, we've still got Gerard Henning. There's a bit of a gap now. Gerard Henning has broken Rod Preus a little bit. He's given himself a little bit of breathing space. As you can see, these guys aren't tucked in right behind each other. Maybe the race distance has made the tyres a little bit squishy, and they're slipping and sliding a little bit, eh, Greg?
Yeah, Graham, I think VWChallengeSA also played a major factor there, getting involved in that battle, not giving him any of his due. He's out there racing his own race, so well done to him. But unfortunately, it cost that Class B battle a bit of time, and that's what spread them out. Here they come into the final corner, though, for Class A. It's George Economides ahead of Wayne Masters and Ray Wilford, and that's how it's going to finish across the line. We're going to see the champion finishing up in third place behind the two champions-elect.
Some really awesome tight stuff there. And in fourth place, well, let's go down to the P-Class battle, and out in front is going to be Valdi Mankies. Unfortunately for Jake Jacob, just not enough time or something getting in the way, and it's Valdi. Valdi takes the first double for Class B this year.
Nice drive there from Valdi Mankies in the Albatross car, and of course also being prepared by Nathan's Motorsport. Well done to yourself. A good outing for your team, and Gerard Henning is going to make it top of the list for Class B. George Economides finishing up ahead of Wayne Masters and Ray Wilford. Jason Finney there in fourth place ahead of Pillofer and Robertson, and Quinton Thompson down in seventh. In Class B, it was Mankies ahead of Jacobs, Clayton LaRue finishing third, and Tenapel just ahead of VWChallengeSA. Gerard Henning eventually winning the battle between Preus, Marais, Bartram and himself.
Yes, I led basically the whole race. Lap 6, Preus dived me on the second last turn, and we had a coming together. He bumped me slightly there, and pressure all the way, and yes, but I managed to keep in front, and I pulled eventually a gap of about 40 meters, I reckon, plus minus, and yes, kept it together.
Championship points after round number 7. Valdi Mankies heading the top of the field now. Ray Wilford down to second, and what a move from Craig Marais. He's up to third. The next round of the Volkswagen Challenge takes place on the 8th of September at the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit. Once again, a great thanks to Volkswagen for giving us this fantastic action from the Phakisa Freeway. Catch up with Rapid Motion next week from Medupi Kart Circuit for the NGen Superkarts.